let's look at the auto history. Mr. Mars has that.
Yeah, it's a busy week in automotive history this week, so I had to kind of trim it down to some stories that I think are real interesting, and I hope you find them interesting. So November the 2nd, 1935, the Cord 810, known for its coffin nose design, debuted at the National Automobile Show. The luxurious vehicle was the first mass-produced American front-wheel drive car with independent front suspension. They were the first production cars to feature hidden headlights. They were offered through the 1937 model year with supercharged and non-supercharged versions. And, of course, the front end's what got it the name of the coffin nose Cord. Now, the first production Cords left the assembly line in February of 1936. By the time production ended in 1937, they had built a total of 2,971 1936 Cord models. Now, a single 1938 prototype also left the factory, and it remained tucked away in a garage for decades until a buyer found it in 1989.
Wow.
Pulled it out, and they restored it.
Wow.
And that's the last one that was ever built.
Cool.
Now, November the 3rd, the first modern auto show opened in Madison Square Gardens in New York, which is really what created a lot of automotive interest and exposure. Now, it really wasn't
I was there for that.
I know. It really wasn't the first car show, but it was the first major show that was produced and sanctioned by a national organization, which was the Automobile Club of America. It cost a whole 50 cents to get in.
Dang.
So, November the 5th, 1985, patent lawyer George B. Selden filed the first patent, the U.S. patent for the internal combustion engine on May the 8th, 1879. Now, it included the application on the device on a four-wheel vehicle named the road engine. This was 8 years before the Benz patent motor wagon in Germany came up. So he made a lot of amendments to his application, which delayed the process for 16 years, and he finally received the patent on November the 5th, 1895. Now, he didn't start building cars. Instead, he took and sold the patent rights to people like Ford. And, of course, Ford and everybody started developing, and as the cars kind of evolved, they got into these patent lawsuits, and with their money and stuff, they managed to end George B. Selden's involvement because of the infringement lawsuits. But the one I really thought was interesting, November the 7th, 1991, the Trabant, I hope I'm saying that right, is a series of small cars produced from 1957 until 1991 in East Germany. Came in 4 models. It featured detachable Duraplast body panels, which is a hard plastic made from recycled cotton waste they got from the Soviet Union, and they put it with some rosins that they had in the East German dye industry.
Well, that's the Eastern Bloc stuff.
And then they put it on the galvanized steel unibody chassis, front-wheel drive, a Traverse 2-stroke engine, and it had independent suspension. Now, since the engine was a 2-stroke, they had to add oil to the 6.3-gallon fuel tank at a 50-to-1 ratio.
Look at that. It's got a K&N.
And each time you stopped to get gas, you had to get oil. Now, the
It's
countries
kind of
around,
like my weed eater.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got a K&N on his weed eater.
At the time, the contemporary gas stations in the countries where 2-stroke engines were common, they sold a pre-mixed gas oil mixture at the pump. But because the Trabant had no fuel pump, its fuel tank was located above the motor, so fuel could reach the carburetor by gravity feed. Earlier models had no fuel gauge either, so they had to go out and use a dipstick and start it into the tank to determine how much fuel remained in the car. Now, this eventually got to where
it sounds like something that would happen over in Neaterville.
Close. They called it, it got the nickname of a spark plug with a roof. Now, they built 3 million of these things produced. The older models are now being sought by collectors in the United States due to their low cost and their ability to import them. And if you go to Germany and you go to East Germany, there's actually a place that you can rent one of these that you can drive and tour Germany.
Why would you torture yourself that way? I don't want to drive.
I have no idea, but if you're going over there and you're going to East Germany, why not?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Stop at the Wiener Schnitzel store and load up.
Ooh, schnitzels.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do schnitzels every day.
Hubba,
hey, we
hubba.
got some.